$18,000 a year. Gone. Not on vacation. Not on designer clothes. Not on anything you would even remember buying. That is what the average American household loses to spending they never meant to make. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Expenditure Survey, Marcus is 29, lives in Columbus, Ohio. Marketing coordinator, making $52,000 a year. Above the national median, he should be fine. But last month, his check engine light came on. $1,400 for a transmission repair. He did not have it. Went straight on the credit card. That night, he opened his bank statements for the first time in months. What he found was not one big mistake. It was dozens of small ones, bleeding out in every direction. 8 bad money habits, 3 invisible leaks, and a number that will make you open your banking app before this video ends. And habit number 5, you probably did it before breakfast today. Here is what nobody tells you about being broke. Most people who struggle with money do not have an income problem. They have a leak problem. Money comes in, and it drains out through 3 invisible pipes. What I call the invisible 18,000. Leak 1. The Autopilot Drain. Money that leaves your account automatically. Charges you forgot to cancel. Insurance. You have not compared in years. Leak 2. The convenience tax. The markup you pay for speed and ease. DoorDash phase. Express shipping. Drive-through coffee instead of brewing at home. Leak 3. The Emotion Markup. The dollars that leave when you are stressed, bored, or celebrating. Doom spending. The I deserve this purchase you regret by Tuesday. Every habit today feeds one of these leaks. By the end, you will know exactly which ones are draining you, and the frugal habits that plug them. The first habit alone costs the average household over $5,000 a year. Habit 1. Subscription creep. Marcus pulled up his bank statement and highlighted recurring charges. Netflix. Fine. Spotify. Sûr. But then, a meditation app he used twice. A cloud storage upgrade from 2 years ago. A meal kit service. He paused, but never canceled. $47 a month in subscriptions he completely forgot about. $47 does not sound like much, but multiply it by 12 and you get $564 a year. According to a LendingTree survey, the average American spends over $219 per month on subscriptions, and most underestimate their total by almost 40%. That gap is pure subscription creep. The fix takes 10 minutes. Pull up your statements. Cancel anything you have not used in 30 days. That is not deprivation. That is awareness. Habit 2. The convenience tax nobody calculate. Let us do your math right now. If you order DoorDash or Uber Eats 3 times a week, you are spending $15 to $18 per meal after fees and tip. Over a full year, $2,300 to $2,800. Just on weekday lunches, you could meal prep for about $5 each. Marcus was ordering delivery 4 times a week. Not because he could not cook, because it was easy. When he switched to Sunday meal prep, he saved about $2,600 in the first year. You are not paying for food. You are paying for the 3-minute delay of not planning ahead. So if we all know delivery costs more, Why do we keep tapping order 4 times a week? Habit 3.
So with the replacement
Living without a
parts and the
financial
labor,
cushion.
the total comes to
But here is the part that
$1,400.
really stings. That $1,400 car repair at 23% APR, making minimum payments. It became $1,740 over 9 months. $340 in interest alone. According to the Federal Reserve, 43% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency from savings, not a luxury. An emergency. A broken furnace. An ER visit.
We have to let you go.
A layoff. Start with 1 month of expenses. Automate 10% of each paycheck into a high-yield savings account. Marcus started with 5%, about $26 a week. After 8 months, he could cover that car repair without a credit card. That is the difference between an inconvenience and a crisis. And those $47 in forgotten subscriptions? He redirected that exact amount into his emergency fund. Same money. Completely different outcome. Abifour, financial blindness and lifestyle inflation. As household income rises, spending rises almost dollar for dollar. That treadmill has a name: lifestyle inflation. Marcus got a $3,000 raise last year. Know how much his savings increased? 0. It went to a nicer apartment and eating out more. Bankrate found that people who actively track spending save 2 to 3 times more than those who do not. You cannot fix what you cannot see. And here is what nobody in the frugal space tells you. Tracking is not about cutting everything you enjoy. It is about knowing the difference between spending that makes your life better and spending you will not remember next week. Habit 5. Doom spending as a hobby. We need to talk about spending as emotional regulation. There is a term for it. Doom spending. Buying things not because you need them, but because you feel anxious or overwhelmed. And shopping gives you a hit of control. A NerdWallet survey found the average American spends roughly $450 a month on impulse purchases. That is $5,400 a year on things that were never planned. Marcus tried the 72-hour rule, just waiting 3 days before buying anything non-essential. 75% of his cart items stayed in the cart. He did not want them. He wanted the feeling of clicking buy. And I know what you are thinking. That is me at 11 p.m. with my phone. Yeah. Most of us, abysses, ignoring the tax-advantaged accounts you already have. This one hurts because the money is literally free. If your employer offers a 401k match and you are not contributing enough to get the full match, you are leaving part of your compensation on the table. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 67% of private industry workers have access to employer retirement plans, but only about half capture the full match. On a typical match with a $50,000 salary, that is $1,500 to $3,000 a year, just sitting there, pottering, 41, 2 kids in Denver, was contributing just 2%, while her employer matched up to 5%. She bumped it to 5%. Did not notice the difference in her paycheck. But her retirement account started growing almost twice as fast. This is not financial advice. Tax situations vary. Consider speaking with a licensed financial professional about your specific circumstances.
Here are the documents.
The next habit is one every frugal blog gets wrong.
Let's review these together.
They tell you to save harder. The data says the opposite. Habit 7. Only cutting costs. Never growing income. The frugal community has a blind spot We talk endlessly about cutting expenses, and yes, that matters. But there is a floor. You can only cut so far. Your income? No ceiling? Pew Research found that workers who switched jobs during high turnover periods saw median wage gains of roughly 10% or more, compared to 3 to 4% for those who stayed. Sometimes the smartest frugal habit is not cutting your grocery bill. It is updating your resume. One last habit. It is the one that separates people who budget from people who actually build wealth. Habit 8. Saving without a system. Most people save randomly. A good month, 300. A bad month, nothing. The average personal savings rate sits at just 3.5%, less than half the historical average of 8.4%, according to the Federal Reserve. Intentional spending is not about willpower. It is about automation. Marcus set up one rule. 10% of every paycheck moves automatically to a separate savings account the day he gets paid. No decision. No willpower. He pays himself first,
Month 1,
then lives on the rest.
3, 4.
After 6 months,
6.
Marcus had over $2,600 in savings for the first time in his adult life. Not because he earned more, because he fixed the system, not the symptoms. These 8 habits are not random. They map to 3 leaks. Fix the leak. You fix the habits automatically. You do not need more discipline. You need fewer drains. Tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight, open your banking app, find one subscription you forgot about. Cancel it. That is $10 to $50 back in your pocket this month. One habit. 3 minutes. Done. Send this to that friend who always says, "I do not know where my money goes." They need the convenience tax math from minute 4. And if you think these 8 bad money habits are costing you, wait until you see what your grocery cart is doing to your budget every single week. That video breaks down the smart spending tricks that save the average family over $3,000 a year. It is right here.